morning and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Hope everyone is having a fantastic morning so far. Well, guys, today we're going to do it. We are going to conclude chapter 2 of the Gospel of Matthew. And tomorrow we're going to move right into chapter 3 where we start learning about the very important figure of John the Baptist. So this actually concludes the infancy narrative of Jesus. So like I said, chapter 3, we're going to learn about John the Baptist, and we're going to start getting into the public ministry of Jesus. So we're moving right along. So we're going to be getting into a lot of more theological matter coming up. Today, in this verse, is going to be more history-driven, some interesting little factoids for you to take with you. But here we are, Matthew chapter 2, verse 23, which states, quote, "There he made his home in a town called Nazareth, so that what had been spoken through the prophets might be fulfilled. He will be called a Nazarene." That last little quotation, "he will be called a Nazarene," is not found in the Old Testament. So let me say that one more time. That last quotation I gave you, which we see in the New Testament, which Matthew says was spoken of the prophets, is not found in the Old Testament. So let that sink in for a second. This is actually a oral tradition that was passed along from generation to generation among the Jewish people. So yes, a tradition, an oral tradition that was passed down. Very important. So like I said, the Old Testament verse that exactly corresponds to this quotation. There's no Old Testament verse. But note that Matthew introduces this reference to the prophets in more general terms. Nazareth was Christ's home, but Matthew's point is most likely that Jesus would be despised, as people from Nazareth were despised. We see that in John 1:46 and John 7:42 through 52. Nazareth was a little tiny town, probably around 500 people or so. A town is actually a very nice term. It was more of a village, kind of on the outskirts. And they just weren't looked kindly upon. Kind of looked upon as, half-breeds, if you will, even though they were Jewish. One also possible meaning of this is that it may refer to Isaiah chapter 11 verse 1, which refers to the Messiah as a branch, which in the Hebrew word is Nestor, which means from the roots of Jesse. So Matthew he's covering all grounds to his Jewish brethren here. He's covering the oral tradition. He's covering what would later be written in John, and he's covering Isaiah in there too, and possibly even Judges 13:5. Possibly. That Judges 1 may be a little more sketchy. But I say Isaiah chapter 11 definitely comes into play when it talks about he will be called a Nazarene. Well, there's a little bit more history for you on... there's a lot of history in Matthew chapter 2, a lot of history that we tend to overlook, a lot of history that gives, in my opinion, a lot more meaning to the infancy narrative of Jesus. Well, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Hope you learned a little something there. And tomorrow we're going to delve into chapter 3 and learn more about John the Baptist. God bless you guys. Have a great day.